Welcome to this episode of the Sports Detective Podcast Show. My name is James Williams, and today we are going to start calling Cris Carter Mr. Strawman. What are we talking about? Well, this week, former TV host and Pro Football Hall of Fame wide receiver Cris Carter has started a beef with FS1's Joy Taylor over an Aaron Rodgers opinion, and the only problem with that is he kind of strawmans her with this whole opinion. So before I show you the Cris Carter clip, I will kind of explain to you what's going on with the Aaron Rodgers situation, and then I'll explain to you what Joy Taylor's opinion on that is and why this has kind of gotten so much news recently. So, the Aaron Rodgers thing, I heard this best described by Albert Breer as to why he's not signed with the Steelers yet on the Bill Simmons podcast last week. And he's described it in the most positive way for the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers. So, basically, if you guys don't remember, last year, Aaron Rodgers was a full participant with all of the Jets offseason workouts. And then I think sometime in the middle of June is when it might have been May or June, he's like, peace out. I'm going to the pyramids, bro. And because of that, he cleared it with his head coach, Robert Saleh. He cleared it with the Jets organization. Everyone was cool with it. But Robert Saleh said, hey, we have a standard here, and I'm cool with you going, but we are going to have to fine you, and we are going to have to mark this as an unexcused absence, even though it was an excused absence. And because of that, the media took that story, and it became this, 2-3 week long thing, and it became a distraction for the Jets, and Aaron was really bothered by how it was covered. So Aaron didn't want to sign with the Steelers or any other team, really early on in the process, because he didn't want to sign and then miss a bunch of this stuff, not show up to a bunch of this stuff and have this be this huge, big story that's bothering the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's why on the Aaron side, why he hasn't signed. The Steelers on their end are basically like, hey, Aaron, we're cool with that. You just show up whenever you're going to show up. Take care of all of the things that you're going to be taking care of. He said something on the Pat McAfee show of like, I have people very close to me battling stuff. Take care of all of your personal stuff, and then just show up when you're going to show up. So that's basically what's going on, which is kind of stupid that it's like, oh, I'm not signing to prevent having a story about me not showing up, because then the story's just going to be you not signing. So it's kind of like, it's just really not working, trying to avoid distractions. But Joy Taylor went on her show, and basically the title of the post on Twitter that I saw, it was a breakout clip of about a minute. I won't show you guys the clips because Fox Sports are copyright sharks, and I really don't want to do a bunch of editing for them. But basically, the clip was Joy Taylor is mad that Aaron Rodgers hasn't showed up to OTAs. And then there was a reader's added context below to that, because a bunch of people like kind of saw Joy say that. It was like, Joy, Aaron Rodgers isn't on the Steelers. That's why he's not at OTAs. And so I think the internet kind of like tried to own her there with that. But really the point that Joy was trying to make, because the topic was, hey, should the Steelers give up on pursuing Aaron Rodgers and go and sign Kirk Cousins? And Joy Taylor is like, hey, you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're one of the best organizations in the NFL. You won 6 Super Bowl trophies. Like, you guys are better than this. You guys have a standard. You're better than Aaron Rodgers, was basically the point that she was saying. And basically was calling out Aaron Rodgers like, hey, dude, if you want to be successful, if you want to be, a part of this organization, you should be at OTAs. You should be with your teammates. You should be learning all of the people that are bringing you food, all the people that are working on your body, all of the trainers, all of your teammates, your offensive linemen, your receivers, your coaches. That was the point that she was trying to make. But the quote from that clip and the clip itself, basically, if you kind of don't really know the whole context of the conversation and the point that she's making, you're kind of like, does Joy Taylor not know that Aaron Rodgers is on the Steelers? Then she addressed that, her and Keyshawn Johnson addressed it the next day and was like, guys, you guys are idiots, trolls online, if you thought that like we didn't know that Aaron Rodgers wasn't signed with the Steelers. Well, one of those idiot trolls is I'm getting my wide receivers mixed up, is Cris Carter, who went on his podcast, Fully Loaded, and he had this to say about Joy Taylor. And I don't know what it is. Don't know what their backstory is. They obviously worked together at one point at FS1, but he don't like this girl. So let's go ahead and watch, because he kind of just rambles on kind of like aimlessly here for a few minutes and doesn't really address any of the points, and it just kind of straw mans her. So let's go ahead and watch.
Thinks this is the problem. So she ripped Aaron Rodgers, even though he's not on the team yet, for not showing up first day at Steelers OTAs. Right. We're sitting around talking about, this is what she said, we're sitting around talking about Aaron Rodgers is not there in the final day OTAs. Mandatory or not, where is your pride? Where is your dignity? Where is your respect for the game? Where is your respect for the organization? Taylor said in the Fox Sports show, speak, he's never played there before. He doesn't know any of his teammates. He doesn't know the streets to get to the facility. He doesn't know doctors, rehab crew, yada, yada. Why should he not be there? I don't take Aaron Rodgers' side very much, but is he on the team?
See, that's a total straw man right there. That's a total straw man right there. Of course, she doesn't know that he's on or she knows that he's not on the team. She's not saying, hey, even though you don't have assigned contracts, you should show up to OTAs and start working out with the team. That's not what she's saying. She's like, dude, sign the contract and show up to work, bro, and get to know your teammates. That's what she's saying. That's a total straw man right there. And then now Cris Carter's going to ramble on here like a moron.
I rather live in,
say a bunch of things that don't matter.
Sharks popped up from the ocean. I much rather listen to them than Joy Taylor. Okay, listen. Okay, first of all, let me give you a little history.
Okay, please.
All right. These people, man, they got. Okay, all right. Let me settle down. Okay, Joy is from Pittsburgh.
Okay.
All right. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are really her team.
Okay.
Now, she lived in Miami, traveling around with Jason, her brother. That's where she cut her teeth in the industry, broadcasting wise. So then she adopted Miami.
Okay.
So she's a Dolphins.
Also, all he's doing here is just stating facts about Joy Taylor. I don't know what this has anything to do with the point. He's just like, Joy Taylor has like a brother that was in the NFL and her nephew's in the NFL, and she's from Pittsburgh. And then she is also a Miami Heat fan. And that has something to do with Aaron Rodgers, bro?
He, on the side type thing. But the Pittsburgh, that's where she's from. And she has a love for the way they do things, the Pittsburgh Steelers. But, Joy, do you have a contract for your job? Did people give you a contract, or you just went on the air and just spewing out content, and just say, hey, they'll get the contract worked out? Because the NFL doesn't work that way. You can't show up without a contract.
Hey, I'm here. I got.
Again, she's not saying show up without a contract. That's not what she's saying. If you listen to what Aaron Rodgers had to say on the Pat McAfee show in April, what did he say, guys? He said, hey, the reason I'm not signed isn't some sort of contract issue. We have everything worked out. We have the numbers worked out. We have all of the terms and stuff worked out with. That's what he said. Cris Carter would have a point if Aaron Rodgers was a guy that was early on in his career, hadn't been with the team before, let me back up, had been with the team for a while and was waiting to get the bag, and Aaron Rodgers' position was like, hey, I'm not showing up because we're in this like a Brock Purdy. If Brock Purdy was still in contract negotiations and Brock was like, hey, I'm not going to be showing up to any of these workouts until I get a deal signed because I don't want to all of a sudden pop my Achilles during one of these workouts. This is what Brandon Ayuk coincidentally did on the 49ers last year. He was holding out for a contract. That's not what Aaron Rodgers is doing here. He's not in Pittsburgh because he's going on the Joe Rogan podcast 2 weeks ago. And by the way, this is an actual exchange that happened on the Joe Rogan podcast. Aaron Rodgers was there talking. He's like, hey, have you heard about, all the chips and the vaccines, the COVID vaccines? You get a COVID vaccine and you get a chip. Have you heard about that? And Joe Rogan was like, I don't think you should listen to that, buddy. I don't think that's real. And it's like, he went on to talk 3 hours about conspiracy theories with Joe Rogan. That's what he's doing. He's made like hundreds of millions of dollars from State Farm and the Packers, and like it's not a money issue. That's not why he's not there. He's not there because he's doing who knows what. That's the issue. That's why we're talking about it. Oh, this is just it's so disingenuous. So he's making this point like he's either dumb, doesn't know what the fuck's going on, or he's being disingenuous. I'll let you guys decide.
I have no contract to be here, but I'm here.
And guess what? You got to have two agreeing parties to have a contract. So slow down, just like the Cleveland guy. Oh, I don't want to see Kenny Pickett. What do you?
Again, it's not like they're negotiating anything. It's negotiated. He just hasn't signed it. We broke this down at the beginning.
Right. And, Joy, her brother is a Hall of Famer, and now she's got her nephew drafted by the Jets in second round. Could be a really good player. Tight end could be a really good player. But Joy, come on, Joy. Just come on. I mean.
Joy is just like a simple lady that cannot think critically, and she doesn't even know that Aaron Rodgers doesn't even have a contract. Like, what is this opinion? What is your opinion? Tell us your opinion.
Like, you're telling Aaron Rodgers what to do?
You're just
Pittsburgh
opining.
has screwed up. The quarterback is not as bad as Cleveland, but they've screwed it up. That they're hoping and praying Aaron comes, because when they let Justin Fields leave and go to the Jets to be their starter, they screwed that up.
You're hoping and praying that at whatever age Aaron Rodgers is coming, you've screwed up.
The Steelers, who were like, Justin Fields, you're our backup. All right, you won a few games for us. We still don't like you that much. We're going to put in washed Russell Wilson to replace you. Yeah, Justin Fields, this amazing quarterback that the Steelers let walk. If they really liked Justin Fields that much, they would just re-signed him. Doesn't it make more sense to re-sign Justin Fields, who's in his mid-20s, than have 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers, who is, probably tripping balls as you're listening to this on some sort of drug or reading about a conspiracy theory?
Screwed it up.
Yes.
If you're hoping and
It's
praying
June.
It shows up. Yeah, you screwed it up.
Yes.
Well, here's what your boy.
So, yes, Joy, you are right. It is a problem, but it's not your problem. It's not a problem because you said it's a problem.
You were looking out the window when you heard Joy Taylor. You didn't even hear what she said. So you was already looking at Dolphins and Sharks.
By the way, I'll let him explain Terry Bradshaw. I've done a few takes of this, so I can't, because I had some recording equipment issues earlier, so I don't remember if I said this earlier, but the next day after that Joy Taylor clip happened, I guess I didn't show the video, but basically Terry Bradshaw went out onto a Pittsburgh radio station, and he said that, like, hey, the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's a joke that the Pittsburgh Steelers are still interested in Aaron Rodgers, and it's June and he hasn't signed. Like the Pittsburgh Steelers are better than this. Aaron Rodgers should just go ahead, stay home in California, and not even think about coming out to Pittsburgh. We don't want you, is basically the point that Terry Bradshaw was getting across here. So Terry Bradshaw basically has the same opinion. Again, we won't listen to whole Cris Carter's response here, because he basically just starts talking about NFL immortality and things that just don't align with his take. But again, Terry Bradshaw has the same exact take as Joy Taylor does, basically, or at least like 80% of the same take. And then watch how he reacts to Terry's take versus how he reacted to Joy Taylor's take. So we'll just do his facial expressions here first, and then we'll just kind of wrap up the video, and I'll give you guys my kind of larger opinions on this whole story. But let's go ahead and watch this.
And then Terry Bradshaw. Do you want to hear what Terry Bradshaw said?
I will listen to him.
Okay. He said,
see, look at that. Look at how he just like perked up when you said Terry Bradshaw. He's like, oh, I'll listen to him.
He said, that's a joke. He said, the buzz isn't morning, he was on the radio. Person, this is to me just a joke. What are we going to do? Bring him in for 1 year? Are you kidding me? Rodgers is expected to sign a 1-year contract with Steelers. Use him as a bridge until rookie quarterback Will Howard, your guy from Ohio State, has some experience under his belt, or they can draft another option next spring. That guy needs to stay in California, go somewhere and chew on bark, whisper to the gods out there. What do you think about Terry Bradshaw's?
So yeah, Terry might have put a little bit more of like a dash of humor into it, but his point is like basically like, hey, like, no, Steelers should not sign him. That's basically his point. That's basically what Joy Taylor's point was too.
Analysis of what Rodgers should do.
I mean, first of all, as a former quarterback.
Yeah, but then he just kind of like opines there about like football mortality, and he's like, Terry Bradshaw knows. It's like it's like, if you actually, I'm not going to play it because it's just nonsense for 4 minutes. We've already listened to enough nonsense from Cris Carter today, but it's just 4 minutes of nonsense about like football mortality and yada yada yada. It's like he listened to like half of that. It's like he listened to half of that. It's like he listened to what Terry Bradshaw said, and he thought it was like a nice thing that Terry Bradshaw was saying of like, hey, Aaron, you should just, be relaxed. You should just be a hippie, and you should just walk off into the sunset of your career, bro, your Hall of Fame career. And that's like, it's like he listened to half of that. It's really weird. But that kind of gets to like, I'm watching much Cris Carter since he left Fox, but this kind of gets to the point of like, why is he saying all of this stuff? Because there's probably like 3 possible options here, if we're being honest. So the first one is, he just doesn't like Joy Taylor, and he just used this because even if you go back to that, I don't know if you guys paid attention to that, but the title of the episode, by the way, this is an hour-long episode with like at least like 15, 16 chapters in it, 16 different topics that are being discussed in an hour on that episode there, but it's titled why Cris Carter refuses to argue with Joy Taylor on TV. Now, are they and again, that was just like a 3-minute section actually of the whole podcast that we just played for you. So is it just genuinely a thing where doesn't like Joy Taylor and, for whatever reason? I don't know what the reason would be. I don't think they even work together. Could it be something like that? That's option number one. And he's just using this as an opportunity to bash her and strawman her. That's basically what he did. Or two, what he's talking about what he was talking about, like, well, her brother played football and her nephew plays football. And it's like, what's the point of bringing that up? There's really no point unless you're making this point. And this point would be, hey, you didn't play football, so you don't get to speak on football players. You don't get to speak on them. You don't get to speak on contract negotiations. And I hate that mindset with a fiery passion. It's this former player mindset that, like, we played the sport, so that means we are the only people that get to discuss the sport. And they expect all of us fans to sit back and just clap like seals. And just be like, yeah, Aaron Rodgers can do whatever he wants. He can do ayahuasca, and he can talk about conspiracy theories for 3 hours. I'm Joe Rogan. Yeah, microchips in the vaccines. It's like, I hate that. Because it's like, I get it. I think most people that talk about stuff for a living realize that they did not play, realize that there's perspective that athletes can provide that someone like me can't provide. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't be able to have opinions on this stuff. That doesn't mean I shouldn't have an opinion of Aaron Rodgers not signing for 3 months, whether it's a good idea for the Steelers to sign Aaron Rodgers, whether or not it's a good or a bad idea that Aaron Rodgers isn't getting in all of this offseason work when the 31 other starting quarterbacks in the NFL are all getting in work. That doesn't mean I don't get to have an opinion on it because I didn't play football and I'm this inferior human being or whatever. And that's the thing that infuriates me so much is that the opinion of like, oh, if you didn't play the game, you don't get to have a opinion on about this stuff. When I go on TV every single day and the dumbest opinions I see are typically from former players. They have the dumbest opinions. Now, that doesn't mean all of them have dumb opinions. That doesn't mean all of them do, but most of them like just don't do the research to prepare for a topic. Like you could see Cris Carter clearly here did not do the research to prepare for the topic to actually know what Joy Taylor's opinion was on the entire situation. And he's like, oh, I'm just this smart guy, football player. I was really gifted at this one thing. That means I can just, I could go onto the football field and I can just do that and I can just be amazing. And I'm just going to do that in every other field that I'm in. So is it that? Or if we're being really honest here, because again, this could be the same thing where it's like Joey Taylor has the same opinion as Terry Bradshaw. You think Joey Taylor's opinion is stupid. You think Terry Bradshaw's opinion. Well, actually, you didn't even listen to Terry Bradshaw's opinion, but you respected it more. Are you respecting that because he's a former football player, Hall of Famer? Or does it have to do with something else? Does it have to do with her being a woman talking about sports? I'm not even going to, opine on that at all. I'm just throwing it out. I'm just throwing it out. Is it something like that? Because I don't know, because he didn't explain himself. He's got an hour podcast. He's talking about like 75 different topics, and he doesn't even do a good job explaining them. Like, oh man, these former player podcasts, man, they're so bad. This is so bad. This is fully straw man. It's not fully loaded. It's fully straw man. Like, it's just, it's so gross, man. It's one thing to like have an opinion, to disagree with someone, but then it's like when one person gives an opinion and you're like, well, I don't like that opinion because I don't like that person. But then this person that you do like gives the same exact opinion. You're like, oh yeah, that opinion's based. It's like, or it's like you refuse to criticize them for that opinion, which is kind of what he did. If you go ahead and watch it, I stress you to go watch it if you want to like, have brain cells burned out of your head from listening to stupid conversations. But man, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about Cris Carter, Joy Taylor, Aaron Rodgers. I know Joy Taylor had that lawsuit thing with Fox Sports. Please be respectful. I'm not really a fan of Joy Taylor. I don't love her. I don't hate her. I'm kind of neutral when it comes to Joy Taylor. I don't think I mentioned that at the beginning, but yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts. Please be respectful. Would love to hear them. And yeah, if you like this video, hit that like button, hit subscribe, leave a comment like we just said. like, subscribe. Those are the best things to help us support this podcast. That's how I know that you guys actually like this content. Subscribing, is the number one way to help us grow, help us get to that monetization mark. And so people can know more about our podcast, man. Help us out in the algorithm. Appreciate you for watching. We'll talk to you next time.